20th Century Fox. And here we see the beginning of the movie, and we see 20th Century Fox, Lucasfilm Limited. And now we're moving into the beginning of the movie, and here it is, the first, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And here we see the beginnings, the opening, the classic intro, Star Wars. And we're going to read now the first title, the opening scene in this new episode, Episode 1. And The Phantom Menace is the title of this episode. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The taxation of trade routes to outlying star systems is in dispute. Hoping to resolve the matter with a blockade of deadly battleships, the greedy Trade Federation has stopped all shipping to the small planet of Naboo. While the Congress of the Republic endlessly debates this alarming chain of events, the Supreme Chancellor has secretly dispatched 2 Jedi Knights, the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy, to settle the conflict. And there you have it, the opening title crawl to Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, introducing us to this world. And as we see now, the titles, they fade away into the distance, and now we are dropping into the life, this world, this culture we see now. The light is on the ship, coming at us from the left, and we see this blockade. And now here, some hooded figure, and the captain is now sending a transmission. Ah, interesting. Yes, of course. As you know, our blockade is perfectly legal. It's totally legal. And we see the tech here. They're using visual screens, and here comes the ship. Well lit. Lighting is really good on this, and these models, fantastic. A lot of CGI, a lot of models, practical models. And here we see the ship landing now on this Trade Federation warship. And then here's a droid as the doors open, and these 2 hooded figures, the 2 Jedi Knights, as we'll soon see. But of course we know this already, having watched it beforehand. Yes. And now the droid. Make yourselves comfortable, and my masters will be with you shortly. Good. And here we see a classic, iconic scene. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the first line of the movie, he utters, "I have a bad feeling about this." And then the teacher, Qui-Gon Jinn, the master and the apprentice. And keep your attention here and now where it belongs. And then they discuss the teaching. But Master Yoda said I should be mindful of the future, but not at the expense of the moment. And then we see the conversation that takes place between the master and the teacher, the apprentice and the instructor. And then here they're discussing this, as they say, these Trade Federation types are cowards, the negotiations will be short. And here this droid is now informing his masters here of the Jedi Knights. He says, this droid says, if I can use that pronoun, he says, and then here these Trade Federation, this duo, I'm not going in there with Jedi, send in the droid. And so here comes the droid. And then they're discussing again the situation. Is it in their nature to make us wait this long? No. And then they're taking a drink here, of course. So it's very much in the line of greeting an ambassador and having the ambassadors enter the ship, just offering them drinks, a safe, comfortable space to sit. And then here we see this Trade Federation group is meeting up with this hooded figure, Sidious, Lord Sidious. And I don't want to see this stunted slime in my sight again. Yes. He says, begin landing your troops immediately. Is that legal? I will make it legal. And the Jedi, the Chancellor should have never brought them into this. Kill them immediately. Yes, my lord, as you wish. So here comes the... Here's the laser turning around, the gun firing. They're dead. And so much for the ship and the crew that brought in the Jedi Knights. Here comes poison gas. And there we see the lightsabers come out. And we're first introduced here to this world of the Jedi and the life that we see here, the life they're living, both in geographical terms and time and space. This is a long time ago. Here are these droids, they're armed, Trade Federation droids, fantastic special effects, practical effects, models, CGI, rotoscoping, old school, as we would have called it, matte painting, but now it's a lot of CGI. Yeah, there's something going on there with that guy's face, whoever that was. We see the Force push, and they've never encountered a Jedi Knight. Now they're going to seal off the bridge. We see the droids working with these Trade Federation, and then the doors are closing now, and here come the Jedi slashing these droids down like butter, as George Lucas put it. Cuts them, they mow them down, and we see their skill, the prowess with the lightsaber. These Jedi are formidable enemies, foes to this group here, the Trade Federation. Now here come these droids again with their blasters. And now here, Qui-Gon using the lightsaber. He's still coming through, and we see that the Jedi are capable of great feats. And we see this now in the reaction on the part of this Trade Federation group. Here come the destroyer droids. And we see these droids are much heavier in armor. They have a shield, and they seem to be more powerful than the little droids. And here go these Jedi super fast run, Jedi force power, no doubt. And here their confidence is buoyed, no match for droid Dakars. They've gone up to ventilation shaft, all-time classic. Here we see editing, special effects, CGI, miniatures, and then great editing, as well as the audio, lighting, camera on this, CGI, green screen, miniature models, full-size sets, location shots. They've got to contact Chancellor Valorum. They're seeing now it's an invasion army. And here we see the humor. You were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short. Typical Obi-Wan. Here comes Queen Amidala. We meet now. Yes, we're getting results. Here comes Queen Amidala. Fantastic costumes. Again, sets, tech they're presenting here in this movie as the world. Your Trade Federation blockade is ended. I was not aware of such failure. The Chancellor has informed me. Yes, they said the ambassadors are there. No, denies it. The Federation has gone, the Trade Federation has gone too far this time. Now, this is the way that we meet Queen Amidala. Very much a serious character. A leader right off the bat. It's all in secrecy. Do you think she suspects an attack? And now, again, the costumes on this, the prosthetics, beautiful sets, real locations, green screen. Here we see the hologram, Senator Palpatine. Yes. And here we see on Naboo, they sit around and just stare off into space looking at this hologram. Senator Palpatine. What's happening? Okay, the Queen wants to know. Okay, they're going to check the transmission generator, and they've confirmed it. It's an invasion. It's all about the politics in the Senate, revoking trade, corporation licensing, and all this. The chancellor's ambassadors, they can't find them. And they're discussing their options. In case of a war, they don't have the forces to defend or fight. And the Queen says, I will not condone a course that will lead the people to war. And here come the invasion landing craft. Beautiful. Again, special effects. real locations, models, miniatures. Just to see this again in the pre-production, post-production as well. Just amazing, beautiful how they put this together. Fantastic. It's like looking at a once-in-a-lifetime piece of art. Sound, CGI, miniatures, models, even as we'll see a guy in a suit. And here we see another hologram. They're talking now to the Trade Federation leadership. Yep. The Jedi are not to be underestimated. And he must use caution, he says. He's telling him, you must use caution. These Jedi are not to be underestimated. And here we see the invasion vehicles destroying the environment. And then here goes Qui-Gon. He's running again. And here we see Ahmed Best as Jar Jar Binks. Fantastic, an all-time classic. CGI interfacing, the green screen, miniatures, real sets, on location shooting, as well as a guy wearing a suit. And there he is, Ahmed Best. He's in a suit right there, fully in a costume, including with the motion capture for later, as they used it. But at the time, of course, and here we see Jar Jar, one of the most interesting characters ever for any Star Wars movie, let alone any movie made from Hollywood. And here we see the interaction between the two cultures and the worlds, where Jar Jar tells Qui-Gon, you saved my life, and now I owe you this life debt, as we'll see, demanded by the gods. Save me again. A local. Jar Jar Binks, an all-time classic. Groundbreaking special effects, not to mention acting and voice, especially by Ahmed Best. Right there, wearing a suit the whole time. And then they, of course, we see the whole, it's a hidden city. Can you take us there? Well, on second thought, no. No, Qui-Gon's irritated. Man, beautiful. Look at the special effects on this, man. I mean, there's Ahmed Best wearing a suit. And then later they CGI'd over it. They'll do terrible things to me. Oh, you hear that? That's the sound of terrible things. Oh, if they find us, they will grind us into tiny pieces and blast us into oblivion. Oh. Your point is well said. Okay, now he's going to take him to the city. Jar Jar Binks is an all-time classic character. This is the first time we've had a character, now they're going to jump in the water to find the city where the Gungans live. Now, Jar Jar Binks is the first time we've ever had a character where there's no reason for that character to actually be in the scene. Totally by accident, not by any design or intent or agenda on the part of the character, as we can see. Just there, by random chance. And is really the every person in the room. And then, of course, he already informed the Jedi that the Gungans don't like visitors, so don't be expecting a warm welcome. And, of course, Obi-Wan, king of the one-liners, don't worry, this hasn't been our day for warm welcomes. And now look at this, amazing, iconic already. This is the visual of the city of the Gungans, the underwater city. And under swimming, again, CGI, practical effects, real actors, even Jar Jar Binks, Ahmed Best, wearing a suit. And then as we see the special effects, again, beautiful, green screen, real practical effects, location shots, costumes, fantastic acting by Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson, Ahmed Best. And then here we see the society of the Gungans and their culture, their tech, their cities, all these creatures here, they're Gungans. An orange amphibian, as George Lucas would put it. Oh, you stop. Oh, he's back. Hello, I'm back. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. He says, no, you're not supposed to be here. Jar Jar looks sad. And here we go. Oh, my goodness. He stabbed him with an electric prod. And Obi-Wan seemed somewhat shocked at that. Now here the Jedi are speaking for the council. Boss Nass, Brian Blessed, classic. Yes, Those mechanics are you we see up there. And he's trying to convince them that they need to warn the Naboo of this invasion. Boss Nass doesn't want it. We don't like the Naboo. They think they're so much smarter than us, basically. Here, Obi-Wan going to instruct. Yeah. They don't know about us. Well, here. And the symbiote circle, Obi-Wan's going to instruct him. Qui-Gon looks as if he wants to say something, but lets him finish. The teacher, again. Oh, Jedi mind trick. Here it comes. You speed us on our way. Yep, he says, I'll speed you on your way. We could use the transport. Jedi mind trick. Wow, shock. Jar Jar looked at that like, what was that all about? Through the planet core. Something about that he liked. There's something about Boss Nass. He's a bit of a weirdo. Here we go. They're going to walk. What is it? Qui-Gon doesn't know. He's not sure about everything. And here goes. Going to the planet core. Yeah, Jar Jar says, yeah, could use some help there. Oh, Qui-Gon, looking at all options. And here we see the way the Jedi think in their way of operating and performing their mission. Each Jedi is different, their philosophy. Now Qui-Gon is going to take Jar Jar in. Sees the need, but possibly also has compassion. For some reason, Boss Nass likes this idea of Jar Jar being punished. Jar Jar didn't like it. Look at the sets, and I mean also the costumes, the characters, CGI. He says, did you have the life debt with this one? Yeah, he told him yes. Oh, here he shakes his mouth, a bunch of slobber comes out. It seems to be the way they make a decree, the Gungans. He says, away with them. Oh, he says, what am I doing? I'd rather be dead here than in the planet core. Oh, changed his mind. Now he's going. Jar Jar is an all-time classic character. And then we have now, as the characters are leaving the Gungan city in this transport, this underwater transport, and they're now going through the depths, through the planet core, into the water. Beautiful. Again, space, land, water. So far, we've seen different environments, the different kinds of tech they're using. He was banished for being clumsy. We learn about Jar Jar now. He was banished for being clumsy. And then we see the deep is full of danger, lurking giant monsters, fish monsters, if you will. The design, beautiful underwater scene here. Again, green screen. Jar Jar is telling him the story, a little accident. The boss's hay giver, whatever it's called. Here comes this giant fish. Got him. Jar Jar is going to start flipping out here. I mean, really a big part of the scene, but providing no moral support other than just making a bunch of noise and being scared. But it works because he's every person in the room. And here we see the philosophy of Qui-Gon and his way of carrying out his mission. There's always a bigger fish. Another option will present itself. He's always looking at ways to negotiate and manage the circumstances as it comes to him, relying on the Force. And here the Trade Federation again in meeting with Darth Sidious. Yes, beautiful. These holograms are an iconic imagery for Star Wars. Beautiful costumes. Yep. Queen Amidala is young, and you will find controlling her will not be difficult. Very much an essay on leadership as well as how they talk to Queen Amidala and about Queen Amidala as being the character that she is, and then how she in turn behaves and the leadership she demonstrates. Now here, again, look at this close-up on all three of the characters. In the transport, you get the POV here, and here we see something's happening with the motor and this because the part of the ship was eaten up by this fish. Again, we see the commentary provided by Jar Jar. We're going to die in here, fixing the transport. We see the visual outside the window. We're looking at the water. It's very dark. No power. Oh, here comes the light, and there's a giant sea monster. Jar Jar reacts as any of us would. The Jedi are somewhat calm, but also aware, focused, and on ready edge. Here, Qui-Gon, relax. Qui-Gon seems to be a character that demonstrates the touch of humanity and also of compassion. Oh, here comes another giant fish, another monster, sea monster. Oh, grabbed the one that was chasing him there. There's always a bigger fish. Head for that outcropping over there. Here comes Jar Jar waking up. Jar Jar is absolutely one of the funniest characters ever in any of these movies, period. Now they've gone down. And here comes the invading force. Again, cut over to land. Real location shots, miniatures, models, CGI, sound effects, camera, real sets. Again, locations, miniatures. If you take a look at these sets, and then you see how they interplayed the real sets. And here, classic, you can see the cord there on the side of the Queen's dress. That's a classic blooper. Coming down the way, again, miniatures, real sets, life-size puppets, models, costumes, real actors, CGI, groundbreaking camera, lighting, acting, directing. Here we see again, beautiful, beautiful skies, colors, various textures. And we hear again, Jar Jar, this is lovely. He's really, if every person ever joined on one of these journeys and really had no reason to be there other than fate, chance, possibly. Here's the Queen. And we see they're trying to convince the Queen to sign this treaty. And here come the robots, the droids. Yep, process them. So now they're going to take them to these camps. Here goes the Queen and this guy's governor, whoever he is. And then, beautiful. Look at the design of the Naboo society. And we saw the contrast between, again, this set, look at it. This is all practical and miniatures and combined CGI. Here we're going to see all three of these characters now, essential to the story. Jar Jar, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan Kenobi as they come around. Beautiful sets, editing. The continuity of this is absolutely amazing if you'll look to see now as all three of these characters will now jump down. Here comes Jar Jar up there. Around, here he comes. We hear Jar Jar. The lightsabers are out. They're cutting these droids down like butter, as George Lucas said. The lightsabers, the Jedi, are more than enough to handle these droids. There go the Naboo group, some security forces. And this governor, your negotiations have failed. They never took place. A lot of exposition here, but the action and the intensity is not abated. Here they go. They're trying to get to the hangar because they've got to get off the ground. They've got to get out into space. They've got to get out off this planet. And then, oh, here's the Queen. And the Queen says, I must stay with my people. They need to sign the treaty. They're going on about this. Beautiful shot here with Jar Jar, the two Jedi, the Queen, and the handmaids. And then we see, you could really watch this movie on silent and get the same picture. To us all, the Queen turns, and they have eye contact there, Padme, and we know this is Padme. And now they're entering in. Look at this beautiful, the cut here is great, the editing as they enter in now from one angle to the other. Again, the design here, look at the reflection of the characters underneath that ship as they go. CGI, real sets and dwell, miniatures, models, green screen, real actors. Oh, here we go. Halt. And he identifies himself. I'm the ambassador. Taking these to Coruscant. To Coruscant. Does not compute. You're under arrest. Classic. These B-1 droids are an all-time classic. Straight out of Looney Tunes. Straight out of the Three Stooges. And we see the Force push again. Lightsaber. The skill, deflecting, blocking, light, and also blaster bolts. And again, they're mowing these droids down like butter, as Lucas said. Everyone's on the ship. Now they're going. Beautiful. Look at that. You see the remaining droid just walking around there, legs only. Into the ship, taking off. And absolutely an all-time masterpiece. Obi-Wan talks to Jar Jar about not causing problems. I've already encountered this. Oh, R2-D2. And here, now, they're looking to encounter the blockade. And here they go. And this, we see some more action with some star fighting here in space battle. Typical iconic Star Wars imagery. Uh-oh, the shield generator's been hit. Now we see, here goes a droid. And we see that these droids are astro droids, and their job is to fix the ship and repair damage, and so on and so forth. Jar Jar classic, how rude. And we see that the interaction of the two iconic characters now, R2-D2 and Jar Jar Binks. We're shown this in imagery, the music, the sound effects, the exposition, great, fantastic, everything, dialogue, beautifully written. And here with the tech, they're looking, they're concerned. Here's the power's back, right? The shield generator is back. Look at this, beautiful model CGI. Okay, and here they go, beautiful. Again, the dialogue, beautiful models, miniatures, CGI, real actors. Beautiful, absolutely. They're flying out into space now, and here they go. Yep, the hyperdrive is leaking. There's a reason now they can't make it to Coruscant in this one leg. Tatooine. So now we find, again, the story takes them to Tatooine. And, yep, the Hutts. Now we're introduced to the Hutts, another iconic alien race, so to speak. Jabba the Hutt. And the Hutts are not looking for the Queen. Gives them the advantage. And here, this model of the Trade Federation warship, absolutely one of the best. The imagery here of the two Trade Federation leaderships, the leadership group, the duo here, Newt Gunray and his partner. And they're after this treaty. And if you look and see, the hologram of Sidious is in the center here and beautifully framed. You see the space in back. Oh, here comes Darth Maul. Yep, not for a Sith. He will find your lost ship. Beautiful, all-time epic classic. This is getting out of hand. Now, there are two of them, all-time classic line. We should never have made this bargain. Screen wipe. Now we see the Naboo ship. They're meeting now with the Queen. R2-D2, the introduction of one of the most iconic characters in Hollywood history as well as Star Wars continuity. R2-D2, Your Highness. They've identified the droid that saved their lives. And here, R2, again, Kenny Baker, played by Kenny Baker, performed as Jar Jar Binks wearing a suit. Kenny Baker was wearing this suit. Beautiful costumes. Here comes Qui-Gon to explain now to the Queen that they're going to Tatooine. And we see the protocol here taken. We watch Obi-Wan Kenobi, played by Ewan McGregor, watching his teacher. He's learning. And we see this later as Obi-Wan Kenobi trains Luke in episode 4. And here Jar Jar is going to meet Amidala, Padme Amidala, that we later learn, of course, is Queen Amidala. And we'll see that. And Padme says, you're a Gungan, aren't you? So here's the meeting of two societies, two different cultures. And Jar Jar's explaining, and we see how Jar Jar got here. It was an accident. It's minding my own business, and next thing you know, I ended up here. And here we have the encountering of one culture with another culture, two cultures coming together for the first time.